Welcome to abcrafty. I'm Daniela, and today I'm going to test out the viral Play-Doh kit called Blooms. This is basically a Play-Doh set built for adults. I'm actually most interested in the applications for ceramics. I'm less excited about the Play-Doh itself, though I do see the appeal. It's using air dry clay instead of Play-Doh so that the flowers can last longer. But for me, I'm most excited about being able to use these tools for ceramics. I looked at every single kit that they made, and I found that the ones of this size all have the same tools. The only difference is the colors themselves. So if you have a specific color preference, take a look at the colors of clay that come inside the kit. But then otherwise, it seems everything else, all the tools and accessories are the same for all of the kits. So let's open this guy up. This looks like it is our little booklet, garden bouquet guide, everything that comes in the kit, the different flower types that you can make. And then here is a cheat sheet of the different pieces needed to make each flower. That's so cool. I assumed it was just the same type of flower that you were making, but I guess not. There are all sorts of different flower designs. Okay, so here are what I'm guessing are called segments. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different pieces. Oh, there's the extruder piece. These are the plants to make the bouquet. I'm guessing this is our cleaning tool. So it looks like the centers of the flowers are these parts. So that'll be interesting. I'm curious to see, are these centers required? Because again, I'm thinking how this can work for ceramics, but I'm first gonna see how it works for just the normal kit, the clay that they provide. But how does this work for ceramics? Will I need to make something separately that will take the place of this, or is this part not even required? It looks like these are the stems and some more stems. I'm guessing this is our finishing spray. Here are all of our clays. Got some really bright pink, kind of like a peachy, light peachy orange, and a white again. Here's an even more neon pink. Then we have a lilac color. Then we have 4 yellow ones. And there is a little bit of a neon hue or vibe to this one as well. Here are the bases. Plastic vase. You can hear it's plastic. So here is the base to the extruder. And I'm guessing that this is for the vase, and it is a spacer. After reading through the instructions, it's pretty straightforward. Basically what you do is you take the clay and cut it to the length of each tube. So you can basically choose whichever colors you want, have multiple colors in each segment, and it's basically each layer that you do is going to be a layer of flower. So now let's choose which one we want to make. Let's do this one. They've made it really easy by numbering each segment. So you can see there is a 2 there, a 3, 4 down here. So the same segment shape will have the same number. So here are 2 4 pieces, for example. So for this flower 6 that we want to make, we need a number 5, a 4, and a 6. To start, we have our base. Then we need the base of the flower itself. We have 2 options to choose from. So that gets placed first. Then we take the segment that's going to be on the bottom. For this one, it's going to be piece number 6. Then the main thing is we get to choose our colors. So we have 4 segments that we're doing. So maybe we'll do dark pink, light pink, purple, then white. Let's see what it smells like as well. Weird. It's like a floral, almost sunscreen smell to it. It's not like normal Play-Doh. Very much just smells like a tropical sunscreen. So for each segment, we're going to cut the clay to the size of that segment. And so we can place this one down, feed this inside like so. Then we grab our next segment, which is number 4, and repeat the process. Next, what we do is take the insert piece, and we're using it as a plunger to just push everything down. Ooh, look at that go! Then we take the bottom, and we're just gonna push this up, and it'll hopefully scoop all of that clay up. And I just realized I forgot to put the top in the middle. So let's just slide this back on. And now we can put this on it. Then as we pull this up, that will come with it. Woo! Oh no! That's okay, we're fine. And there you go. There is the little flower. That worked so stinking well. And so now what they say is they want you to wait an hour and a half for it to dry, and then you can spray it with the finishing spray. And then you can also attach the stem to it. So we'll click it in like that. There we go. There is the finished flower. So now you have the option to either clean this out or leave it. So if you leave it, then all of this clay will add to the effect of the next flower. And so that is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna leave this all here. So we just wanna take out the plunger and scoop it all up. Oh, I almost forgot the top again. Okay, so you gotta be careful with it. This is now the second one that I've just smashed. Carefully scoop that up and lift it off. It is very delicate coming off. And then these pieces didn't really stick to it. The other ones did. It's just those bottom ones look like they didn't. I mean, either way, they're still coming out super cute. Let's test each segment so you can see what shape they make. This is segment 1. So because this one was on the bottom, it now made a whole bunch of super long strings. But when it's on the top, it actually makes a lot fewer strings. So that's something to consider as well. The closer it is to the bottom, the longer the pieces are gonna be. This is probably how long they get. Something like that. This one is segment number 2. So that one gives a very pretty, simple, classic petal shape. I feel like I just have the spacing a little off because it's overlapping exactly on the petal before it. So let's add another layer. So this one you really want to space it out correctly, but that one also works nicely. This is segment 3. It is similar to segment 2, but it has a little bit of a curve to it. There we go, super cute. Next up is number 4. It's a bit more of a wavy pattern. This one's a little bit more pointy, and then it has a little bit of a curve to it on one side of the petal. Let's try making a flower with number 4. That looks super cute. Number 5 is the V-shaped one. Looks kind of like fettuccine, honestly. It has a little bit of curve to it. That's the V shape there, so you can see it more clearly on that one. Then they're shorter on the inside, longer on the outside. And again, it's because the extruder pushes more out through the bottom than through the top. That would make for a cute center of a flower, I would say. Or maybe like a bud. If you close it up, it kind of looks like a little flower bud. This is number 6. And you can see it's very similar to number 3. It's just a bit of a softer curve. So the petals of this one come out sort of like a rectangle, and then they curve in on one side. Then they're also much larger, again, because it's a larger piece and it's at the bottom. So if we spiral this one on its own, this is what it looks like. So you might want to do multiple of that one to make a complete flower. So let's actually do that. Beautiful. That makes a gorgeous rose shape. Lastly, we have number 7, and that one is a big zigzag shape. So it has more of a ruffled, almost star shape to it. That's sort of what that one looks like, rolled up. It's a little bit more messy. I would imagine this one would probably be better under other ones. So it looks like number 2, number 3, and number 6 make the best standalone flowers. But again, you can combine any of these together to then make a flower without using one of their centerpieces. So I think these would be the best options for me in ceramics. Let's try one of the other flower types. For this, we only need number 4, which is this top one here. Place that inside. Now we just plunger this one. Then the idea for this is we grab a stem and a little bit of purple for the center and shape it onto here as the center of the flower. Next, what we do is scrape off these petals and attach it to here. Yeah, I don't love that. I'm just gonna scrap it entirely. But in theory, that's how you can hand form the flowers if you'd like. Then the other option is using the base here. So you roll it out into a snake and press it into here. Pull it back and cut away all of the excess. Then you take your stick and wrap this around it. But just as before, I'm having trouble getting it to stick to the actual stick. So it makes it very difficult. Same thing. I do not love how that comes out. And again, it doesn't stick at all. This slides right off. So I don't love the hand building. I am going to stick to doing the fun designs using the plunger, which is the whole point of why I got this. So let's just keep doing that. So there you go, that's the new Play-Doh blooms. I am so excited to try this out with ceramics and see what I can make. I've linked to it in the description as well as tagged it, but let me know in the comments if you have any questions or other ideas of what would be cool ways to use this. I know others have been interested to see whether it'd work with fondant. I'm not 100% sure whether it is safe for fondant or not, but personally, I would just end up using it because I don't really care that much, but definitely do a little bit more research if you want to test this out with fondant. And if you see any kits that you'd like me to try out, let me know in the comments or in the community section. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more crafty tutorials. And as always, if you'd like to see what I'm crafting day to day, be sure to follow me across my socials.